Hey there, it is Rachel, and in my most recent podcast episode, I shared a very simple tip that I want to share with you right now as well. And that tip is to stop assuming that our children are going to have this horrible future based on their behavior right now. But we all do this, right? Let's say you have a child who likes to be in charge, who likes to be in control, who likes things to go their way and gets really upset when things don't go their way. We take this behavior and we fast forward to the future and we think, oh my gosh, if they always need things to go their way, it's going to affect their relationships, it's going to affect their ability to do well in school, it's going to affect their ability to hold down a job, and all sorts of awful things will happen. Or if you have a child who doesn't clean up when you tell them to, we fast forward and we think, well, if they don't clean up, if they're really messy, they're going to make a mess of everything. Their roommate in college is going to hate them. They're going to affect their spouse or their partner when they're older, and it's going to cause so many fights. We take this current behavior and we fast forward to all of these horrible things that are going to happen in the future. And what does that make us want to do? What we want to do when we fear a bad future for our children is we become controlling. We try to prevent the bad thing from happening in the future by controlling our child now. So if we have a child who gets really upset when things don't go their way, we lecture them and tell them why it's important that they're more flexible. We tell them all the bad things that might happen if they're not more flexible. We yell at them and tell them to stop being like this and stop trying to make everything go their way. We may punish them. We're trying to control or change their behavior. And what usually happens when we try to control and change our kids, it doesn't work very well, does it? They still get really upset when things don't go their way. And that's because what we really need to do if we're worried about a child's future is exactly the opposite of what we think. Because here's what I will tell you. It is more true that an accumulation of positive present moments leads to a better future than trying to control the future. If we create more positive moments in the present, things actually turn out better than if we continue to try to control our child. So how do we create more positive present moments? I have what I call the 2 notice rule. The first thing you want to do is notice yourself. Notice that you are spiraling into this future thinking and assuming that all of these things will happen, and rein yourself back in. Bring yourself back to the present moment. And then the second notice is to notice what is going on for your child. If your child really does like things to go their way and they get really upset when things don't go their way, notice what is going on for them. Say to them, is it disappointing or frustrating when you can't have the movie you want, or when you're not first at this game, or when you do things differently than the way you imagined in your mind? Notice what is going on for them. When you are there with them, when you are present with them, that actually helps them to calm down, and it creates a more positive present moment. The reality is that all these behaviors that we see in our kids are solvable. There are reasons kids want to get their way. There are reasons that kids don't clean their room, but we're not going to be able to change things in the future if we're not with them in the present. So you want to remember, notice that your brain is going to the future, notice what is going on for them, and you're much more likely to create that positive future when you are more focused on the present. If you want to hear a little bit more about this, I encourage you to listen to my latest podcast episode. You can find that on my website at rachel-bailey.com/256. Thanks for listening. I'll see you again soon.